What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Some commentary for you. BackBreaker and Madden. You know, BackBreaker, in my opinion, had one of the most underappreciated features in all of football games. Player form. And I say that because of the way it impacted every single game that you played. And this is really something lacking from Madden. Madden has players that lose their abilities after they come back from an injury, and that's it. Other than that, Madden operates on the principle that every player coming into a game is at 100% of what their ability is. Which we all know, if you've played the sport or watched the sport, is just flat out untrue. Now, the reason this was so great is it could actually change dynamically how you played on the fly. Because you didn't know this in advance if they were on a random form. You would have a player that could play above his abilities, at his abilities, or most importantly, below his abilities. So in this situation, you've got Marshawn Lynch, who's playing at his abilities, Robert Turbin, who maybe is the hot hand playing above his abilities. You may actually want at the time to put your backup running back in to get the most you can out of him. Now, if you think about this on another level, by now, you could have gaming companies that could have really adapted this to make a very simulation-based gameplay feel. Let's say you trade a receiver away. He goes to the team, he's on a low form. Let's say you play that team that you traded that receiver to. Well, he's really amped for this game. He's going to be on a high form. Let's say you had to change some linemen around. Well, changing them to positions they're not aware of, they may have a low form. Or let's say you've got a player that you just drafted to replace your star quarterback. Well, now your star quarterback is playing at a low form. So it really involved a lot of detail, but it also put in a lot of strategy. Now, why is this important? This is important because we deal with this every single game in the NFL, and we really have no outlet to it in any sports game. If you watched the Falcons and the Cowboys last week, you know this happened. Adrian Claiborne, who had been a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, really hadn't done a lot, was just kind of a serviceable player, had 6 sacks in last week's game. He played at a high form. Now, if you have a situation where you have a defensive lineman playing at a high form, and you've got maybe an offensive lineman playing at a low form, things like this could happen in BackBreaker. Now, I understand. The culmination isn't always going to be breaking a franchise record or becoming one of 3 players that have established 6 sacks in one game or more. But it does allow you the capability of having a player get that breakout game, or that superstar player that has 1 or 2 games where they're not quite themselves. And to me, that's what form brought to BackBreaker. And that's what we're missing from Madden. And to me, it also kind of brings that conversation back around of highlight football. You know, you can take the greatest players in the NFL, and you can go back and point to games that they weren't the greatest. That's what makes them special. Because that day, someone was a little better. And it usually comes down to something as simple as player form or player performance. We really need something like this in these games today to help break the mundane game after game after game feeling. To make us feel like there's a unique game and a unique situation that as a gamer, we need to take advantage of or we need to make a change with. Love to know what you guys think about this. I appreciate you checking this out, and you know that I'll be back in the week with more coming.